What's up, everybody? We're back. How we doing tonight? Hope y'all are doing well. And those of you who are in the midst of that storm that we are getting pounded with, hope y'all are doing well. Stay safe, people. Seriously, it. I don't know how it was for most people, but for our area, it's like hit or miss. Like if you're a certain area, you got slammed. If you weren't, we just got a lot of rain. Tonight, I have my brother with me. He's back for another fun episode. My brother Tanner from Ghost Hunter Advice. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, man. I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm here. I'm here. Speaking of the storm, how was it down in your way?
Pretty good. We've just got kind of the clouds. The arms are just kind of reaching where we are, so we've got maybe a little bit of rain, but mostly just cloudy. We had some storms actually before the weekend. We had a tree limb blow down. I had to get that off the house before we went up to. We took a vacation up to Gatlinburg and stayed in a cabin up there. But I had to get all the limbs down that were coming onto the house, so we didn't come home to like a broken window or roof damage or.
Yeah, probably not something you want to do.
Yeah.
And I thought you were supposed to go to Gatlinburg in mid-July.
Mid-July.
It's a Johnny Cash song.
Oh yeah. No, we go like 4 times a year. So we'll go again for Halloween because they decorate for Halloween, then again for Christmas because it's basically like Santa's village. The entire town is like Santa's village.
Ooh. I think it was either Johnny Cash or Charlie Daniels. I can't remember, but it's a song. But anyway,
I think it was Johnny Cash.
Was it Johnny? I think so. I thought it was a Man in Black, but it was Gatlinburg in mid-July. Yeah, but anyway, don't mind me, people. It's been a week. It's been a year. Tanner and I were backstage talking about it. You guys know how it is. We get talking on things, and it's like, oh, well, we should probably start the show here in a second. But anyway, brother, glad to have you back. It's been a hot minute, and a lot of things have happened since you and I have last actually sat down and spoke, and we'll be going over that. We had something we want to discuss tonight with you folks. So before we get into it, I see my brother Jonathan Myers from Crossover Paranormal Society is here. What's up, brother? How are you? If you guys haven't seen Jonathan, go check him out. He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun to watch. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to, Tanner, but Jonathan is such a unique individual. I love him. I really do. He's usually mellow, relaxed, chill, but then something happens, like out in the field, he's just like 0 to 100. It's great. I love it. But tonight, folks, Tanner and I are here to discuss a couple of things. And the first thing, I think it's, to me, the most important, and we've been seeing a lot more of it, whether positive, negative, whatever. And it's something that you and I have talked about before, several times actually, on shows, off camera, and that's para-unity, the word. And just breaking it down, I know we've gone by definition, we've spoken about it, but we've never really dove into what it really means, the definition of it, why is it so important, and we really haven't gotten into the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of it. So let's first start off by that. Let's first start off to you. Why is it so important to have this unified community? Why is that a thing?
We all are geographically and ideologically. We're all stuck in one area, so we only see the cases that we go out on. Our only real glimpse into the paranormal and the data that we have to draw conclusions, to bring about new theories and push the field forward. What we have is a very small sample, even if you're doing a ton of investigations a year. With para-unity, even if you don't agree with findings, even if you don't agree with something that someone is doing, having the data from their investigations, being able to go back through and look at it is incredibly important. And being able to sit down and talk about and discuss things, it's how every other field pushes itself forward. And it's one thing that's been holding us back. Everybody gets very territorial about their cases, the properties that they're at, the theories that they have, and we don't have open conversations like a lot of other fields. So we stagnate.
I'm glad you said talk about the evidence, talk about the locations, and the key word there is just talk.
Mhm.
You know, you're 100% right, and we've said this before. I know I've said this on several shows. The big question out there is what happens after death. We all know there is something happens after death. We just want to know what. And the field is basically a big jigsaw puzzle, and it is going to take each and every one of us. We are all separate pieces. All of us working together to get it figured out, because like we stated before, what works for you may not work for me. What works for me
Mhm.
may not work for you, and that goes with everybody. We all have our own style. And one thing I think that always gets missed in our field is the open discussions and the open debates. And when I say debates, I'm not talking like what you see on, CNN and Fox, although those are entertaining, but it's just never just a plain discussion. And you know, eh, why do you think that really holds people back? Like, why do you think that's such a hot button for people?
There's a couple of reasons that I think. One's pride. Like people
Mm,
want to be right. They want to keep things close to their chest. Some people are afraid of individuals stealing ideas, or going in and stealing the glory for proving that a property is haunted or getting a piece of evidence that they feel like they should have owned. Another reason is just embarrassment. A lot of people still today are embarrassed to talk about the paranormal, even with other paranormal enthusiasts, because maybe they have a thought about it that's different and they're afraid of being ridiculed for it.
mm.
Um, I can't think of any positive reasons not to, but it comes down to pride and shame. Like those are the two opposite ends of the spectrum there.
Well, here's something that always bothered me. Like when it comes to a piece of evidence, right? I don't care if you catch a full-bodied apparition, a class A EVP, whatever. Any type of physical manipulation. That doesn't matter. Let me ask you: does the investigative team own that evidence, or does it really belong to the spirits? Who actually owns it?
If
Because
Yeah, so it depends. So this you're getting into intellectual property law, and the
hmm
attorneys will fight over this.
hmm
But the person who records it and who is responsible for it owns the rights to it as far as putting it out onto podcasts or different things. You can license it and you can say, everybody take this, do what you want to with it,
yeah,
which I think is the best way to do it. Or, it can be a part of your evidence that you put out on your YouTube channel, your podcast, or whatever to monetize. That's the biggest reason that I see a lot of people with a big following not wanting to share information or share evidence. They want to use it to monetize.
and see, I think that right there is the whole reason why credibility is so scarce in our field,
Mhm.
whether it's for the general public or within ourselves. And just so you know, folks, this is not geared towards any one specific person or group or anything. This is just Tanner and I had an idea. We're talking about it, and you know how it goes. But I just wanted to get that out there. This is not geared towards anybody specifically. But that's one thing that really bothers me about our field, because if you're in this field to make money, to me, you're in it for the wrong reasons. We're a field of spending money, and we spend a lot of money. Our equipment is not cheap, and I think what happens is when you start bringing in the monetary value into these YouTube channels, TikToks, whatever, or even the shows, you start breaking away from why you're really doing it. You start losing that. And I know for me personally, that's why I declined that opportunity to, make money doing this. Um, because then once you don't get the ratings, you don't get the views, you start losing your money, and you start falling into that trap of when do you start faking evidence, and then that's when, and let's be honest, these people who are out there making money doing this, you're always going to have somebody there to discredit you, to be the naysayers and stuff like that. And um, to me, that's where the problems start bringing it are rising, when you start bringing money into it, because when you have a passion for something, you have nothing to lose. If you have a great investigation, like the stuff at the Global Ghost Hunt, we go out, we have fun, we investigate, you see the real stuff, we don't fake anything, we have nothing to lose, we have everything to gain. And I to me, when you start putting money into it, you're just setting yourself up to be ridiculed, torn apart, and have your evidence. So where's that line then, in your opinion? Where's that line to where you can make money and still be credible?
Oh man, so that one's hard. So one of the things that I do when we talk about podcasting, I talk about monetizing podcasting quite a bit. My new show, my show, Ghost Hunter Advice, spun into Paranormal Podcaster Help Desk, which is the name of the show moving forward. And I help people like learn how to build a following and monetize. The difference is you don't monetize off the actual hauntings, the evidence you're getting in the investigations.
Mm-hmm.
The line is monetizing off the entertainment value and the value that you're giving to your listeners. If people like what you're doing, they like your show, they like listening to you and being part of your podcast, they enjoy your channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, they should throw some monetary support. This shit is expensive. This is more expensive than ghost hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You're not lying.
and we are putting out a product that entertains people, so we provide value, and that's something that we can get some value back for. When it comes to going out and doing investigations and the actual evidence that we're getting and the research that we're doing, no, I would not monetize that at all. Keep that as clean as you can. Use it for your show. Use it for content. It's fantastic content. If you're showing other people's evidence, make sure you credit them, so you're not being a dick. And yeah, especially if you have a monetized show, because there are legal issues that pop up with that. But yeah, I think the line is, if you were doing something for entertainment, or if you're conducting actual investigations and the evidence that you're using, the show itself is supposed to be proof, then I wouldn't charge for that. Podcast help desk, that's one that I'm not monetizing. If I end up editing for someone or doing work on their podcast, yes, I will charge for that, and I will monetize that, because that's my time and my expertise as a sound engineer. But yeah, I think it depends on what you're charging for, or how you're monetizing.
So then let me ask you this. Is it possible, because let's be honest, there's a lot of amazing YouTube channels out there. And I'm just saying YouTube. I know people do it on Facebook and other places, but YouTube is the main one, to where these channels are going out in these groups and they're doing the investigations, good investigations, but at the same time, there's other investigations or there's other videos that are for entertainment. Can these channels do both? Can they have the entertainment side for the monetary value, but still maintain the credibility of the field? And if so, how do they balance that? How does that work?
I think so. Yeah. It depends on what you're doing for the entertainment value. If you're faking evidence and you're ramping up the scares and stuff for that effect, then no, I mean, that's crossing a line into being, unethical. It's no longer an investigation. It's a show that's entertaining. But at the same time, if you're just going through and doing a straight investigation, nobody wants to see that. It's pretty damn boring. So what I would do in that situation, if you're doing casework, is conduct investigations and research and help people, and then have different things set up to where you're goofing off, or you have something that would be entertaining for people, whether that's the personalities, the conversations that are happening during the investigation. Maybe there's some comedic value. Maybe there's just value in people wanting to connect with that team. That's what you focus on for the entertainment side. And then, you analyze, you do your case, and you do a very professional job on that side while entertaining when you're in front of the camera.
Fair enough. And, and I agree. I agree 110%. Like what we do here on Empowering My Field, this is entertainment. This is entertainment. It's educational sometimes. And, we'd like to have fun. It's more relaxed. But If I'm going out like I did for the USS North Carolina or for Global Ghost Hunt, that's the investigative side. That's where it's, and I don't know about you, but me personally, I think if you're going to do something monetary wise, like you want to get things, the blooper reel type thing, 100%. Evidence, great. If you, to me, faking evidence, and we've been over this many, many times, and I know it's a hot button for a lot of investigative teams. Here's the deal. I personally don't care if somebody wants to fake evidence for the views, for the entertainment side of it. God bless you, have fun with it. However, that being said, make sure you're noting that it's fake. Make sure whatever, put some kind of disclaimer up, because that takes away from us as real investigators. These people go out and they expect, and I've had it happen during tours. They expect all hell breaking loose. They want to get scared shitless, and they want to, have nightmares for the rest of their lives. Folks, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen every time you go out. Tanner and I will both sit there and tell you that there's some nights where there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of things going on. There's just the right equation. And other nights you're out there talking to yourself, or what it feels like talking to yourself. So let's switch gears a little bit. We like to take tangents. If you don't know this show, there's a lot of tangents. So if you're having problems following along, take notes. It might help you. Your show.
Uh-huh.
It was Ghost Hunter Advice. I love it. I love what you do. Being a paranormal consultant, I absolutely love what you do. You have my utmost respect for that. Talk about the change. What's changing, and what's coming up with this new show?
Yeah, so I started off as Ghost Hunter Advice. I wanted a show that was what I didn't have when I started in the field, a way to learn from mistakes, a way to learn from anecdotes, and to have questions answered. As the field itself has evolved, and as I've gone through the past 20-something years as a ghost hunter, I've noticed that I've become more of a content creator. I've noticed that the field itself has morphed more into content creation than it has into a real actual investigation. Like you said, it's expensive. And after a while, like especially with the economy the way it is right now, if you have a hobby, you have to have a way to monetize it. So the biggest help that I thought that I could give to people, especially after the past several years of like in-depth studying microphones, going through all these classes for sound engineering, audio engineering, setting all this stuff up, and getting, professional grade sound on, like the lives are pretty good, but my podcast, I put a lot of work into that on the back end to at least get to radio quality with that sound. And that's where the real value and the punch is, to get people to support financially, to support a show so that you can put that back into the actual investigations. Flipping back to that question that you had before, I found the best way to do it is to do investigations. Don't show it to anybody, because if we're being honest, nobody wants to see a paranormal investigation the way that it's actually done. Nobody watches Ghost Adventures for the actual ghost hunting. It's all the drama and the craziness and the narrative and story that comes along with that.
I don't even know why they want to watch Ghost Adventures anyway.
Yeah. Excuse me. But
I had to take my shot.
No, take your shot. Everybody take a shot. But yeah, so I thought, this doing the talk style, doing the narrative style where we're talking about cases, where we're providing like an actual value, that gives me a way to get at least some like ad spend once we get up to a certain threshold. It gives me a way to promote products through affiliate marketing, or having actual sponsorships, or my own equipment or services, and getting, something back in for that to fund the research. And that's where a lot of people are right now. Some people 100%, they want to get famous. They want to have a big following. Some people want to get into this field full time. And if you are a full-time ghost hunter, then that means you are a full-time content creator, because that is the side that pays.
100%.
Yep. So that was one of the change.
That's awesome. And we'll talk about a couple things. First, I know exactly what you're talking about when, because you and I started in this field around the same time.
Mhm.
And what we have now, I wish we had. I wish. I was lucky to meet this gentleman named Dan Smith from San Diego Haunted, and he helped me get going. That's what he did. He was marketing, he was promotion, like that's what he did.
Mhm.
And he helped me. But as far as in the field type stuff, Dan, if you're watching, God bless you, but few and far between. A lot I had to learn on my own, which is another reason why I started the consultancy, which is why I started Paranormal Consultant. Was, just like you, I wish I had somebody there to say, hey, you're doing good. Here's some advice for you. Try this. You may get a better response. Or hey, instead of asking this type of question, ask it this way. Or hey, I noticed you have this type of camera. Try this one. This one works a little bit better. It's a little more cost effective. And somebody there to be a mentor. And I feel like, at least for you and me, and I know there's a couple others on Parapost and other networks, to where we want to be that mentor, and we want to have that mentorship, and we want to guide these newer teams. I wish we had that. I really do. But in the same sense, I'm glad we didn't, because that's led us to what we're doing now. And I mean, I've even told Brian John, if I could do this full time to have my bills paid, and to take care of my own, and I think I've said this to you too, Tanner, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Mhm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like what I do. I like my job now. I like my job, and I enjoy the people I work with. But let's be honest: if the consultancy would pay my bills, two things would happen. Number one, there'd be a lot more shows. That's number one. And number two, I'd have a lot more ideas, and y'all be in trouble. But no, and I want to ask you, because this is something that I it's been kind of on my mind. Yes, we all want to do this full time. Let's be honest. We all have a passion for it, and anything that you have a passion for is always worth doing or pursuing. Where do you how do I want to word this? Where do you, I don't want to say sell out, but where's that line? Like when is it okay to monetize or make what you're doing beneficial? Like where's that
I think I
boundary?
see what you're asking there. Yeah.
Yeah, words
As
suck. I hate English.
as long as you're providing value, it is 100% ethical. When you know what you're doing, we all have this. I'm trying to think the best way to organize this. Whenever we start stepping out and we start doing anything professionally, even with a podcast, when I started taking like ads and things, and I started getting paid for doing it, I'm like, I'm just a guy. I didn't go to school for this. I don't feel like I should be doing this. And you have imposter syndrome. I had imposter syndrome when I was an investigator, like an actual PI. Again, as a personal trainer, I was like, I'm just a guy that works out in a gym. Who am I to tell all these people how to get in shape?
Yeah.
Anything that you step into, if you feel 100% that you know what you're doing and this is it, it's probably not the right time. If you're scared, if you kind of feel like maybe this isn't the right time and you feel that fear, that's when it's time to probably push through. And there's this thing that you get to that's called conscious incompetence. It's when you know that you have a lot to learn and you need to go through and you need to learn that. There's a difference between that and imposter syndrome. When you have imposter syndrome, you're actually performing, you're doing a good job. You're growing your show, you're connecting with people, you're providing value, and you're getting that feedback in emails and engagement from listeners and people who are watching your show or listening to your show. It's time to monetize when those people start reaching out because they want you to keep doing it. It's expensive. This is going to sound like a lot, but like every show that I have costs me at least $7 a month for like the minimum amount of stats from Libsyn to put the show out and to keep the RSS feed up. $25 a month for this, hundreds to thousands of dollars on equipment and mic upgrades, classes. I actually got really lucky, and as a personal trainer, one of my clients was a radio personality. I traded him sessions to learn microphone technique, for how he did it in the radio station. We put a lot into this. It is 100% okay to ask for something back if you are actually providing value.
Fair enough. And I'm glad you said it, and I'm going to break it down because some people don't realize what. I mean, they understand, like, especially these investigative teams. They see how much equipment costs. And not even talking about just the location fee or the travel fee or the hotels, food, everything for an investigation. Like when I went with Jonathan Myers to North Carolina, that was expensive. That was an expensive trip. The investigative side of it to the side, what we do as a podcast or a vodcast or these shows, you're 100% right. It's a lot of money too. We're basically, it's two hobbies. We're doing the paranormal, funding that, and funding the podcast. Like, you guys know me, I'm an open book. I pay $50 a month for StreamYard for what we're doing right now, where we're at, where we're recording from. $50 a month. Think about it. How many shows do I have to do to make it worth it? That's just for the StreamYard side of it. On top of that, the equipment that we're using, I have it's almost a $6,000 computer tower, an actual tower setup. It's a SkyTech gaming that desktop. Sorry, folks. I don't know what English is hard today. I have two monitors. Both are pretty pricey. I'm just going to say that they're about $300 a piece, plus my camera, plus my microphone, which you can't see. It's here. I swear it's here. There it is.
That's why I use the green screen instead. I want to see it.
See, no, I love my green screen. I have my green screen. You can kind of see it peeking out from behind me. But I don't know what happened. But after an update, my microphone just disappeared. And I'm just like,
yep.
It's working. You guys can hear me. I don't know why you want to, but it's working. So I'm happy with it. But like the microphone was about $200, and did I need to go that expensive? No, but you guys know me. I'm always in front of this. I always like to do these shows. I want to give you guys that quality that Tanner's talking about. Whenever you have a product, and you'll love this segue. When you have a product, you obviously want to know it's good. You want to know it's good. It's good quality. Your customers, your consumers will enjoy it. But the marketing side of it, to make it look good, that's another cost, which is, you see where I'm going with this? So why is marketing, and we're just not the promoting side, but the marketing side of it, why is it so important, and why would people want to invest in marketing?
If you have a great product and you have a great show, that's fantastic, but it doesn't matter if nobody's listening. The first way a lot of people monetize is through ads. And I think that's what a lot of us think of when we think of a podcast or a show monetizing. There's those ads at the beginning, maybe some mid-reel and something at the end. You don't get that until you've got 10,000 downloads per episode. And that's the minimum across most platforms. Libsyn ads, that's their minimum. Excuse me. And they can't find you if they don't know about you. So you have to go where those listeners are going to be. And marketing, it works best when you do a mix of paid and organic. But if you're starting a podcast and you're doing this, you can go into Facebook groups. I got thousands of listeners for Ghost Hunter advice by just going into Facebook groups. And whenever somebody had a question, I would make sure you talk to the admins, make sure it's okay. I would say, hey, I just did an episode on my podcast about this. It's called Ghost Hunter Advice. I'm going to drop a link here, and I would sometimes tag one of the admins. If this isn't okay, take it out, but it's providing value. Yeah. They didn't care as long as I wasn't spamming, and they're like, oh no, this was a great episode. And then the group admins start sharing stuff out, and people started finding just from Facebook groups. It's harder to do that now because the AI that polices Facebook kicks a lot of that stuff out. But you have to go where people are. And if you can't do that, $5 a week, you can get quite a few listeners from running Facebook ads once you dial in your copy.
For the record, and I've said this before, Facebook don't don't do anything. I'm grateful for what you have, but speaking of quality, I have some suggestions. And I think most of us in the podcasting community will agree.
Yep. 100%, dude.
Email me. I'll be more than happy to sit down and talk. But speaking of sponsorships and stuff like that, it's already at the half-hour mark. This is what I love talking with Tanner, because we could sit here for literally hours. But we're gonna take a quick break. I got obviously our sponsor, Health Empowers You. I got theirs, and also the Pair Post. I played Global Ghost Hunt. I'll save that. We'll talk about Global Ghost Hunt when we come back. But anyway, guys, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Tanner and I are going to continue our conversation, and we're going to have some more fun. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a few moments. Welcome back, everybody. It's really cool that we have so many amazing family members over at the Parapost Network. Um, it's a long video, but I really enjoy it. It makes me happy. Like every time I watch it, it's like we're growing so quickly, and there's always more. There's always more going on with Parapost Network. So that being said, I want to give our usual shout outs. Obviously, like I'm on Parapost. We'll talk about it now. Parapost Network. If you don't know what it is, you just saw the video. There is a whole bunch of amazing podcasts where you can find over at Parapost Network Central on Facebook. You can find this show. You can find Tanner's show. You can find a bunch of others. And they're great. They're great shows, amazing shows. There's always something for everybody, and we're always growing. We're always getting more. It's not just paranormal. I know Brian wants to. I want to do some fishing shows. I've already talked to Brian about it. I will be live streaming fishing. You guys may not enjoy it, but I sure as hell will. But there's going to be a whole bunch more. I know there's cooking shows that are going to be coming on. There's health shows coming on. There's a bunch of things in the works. So head on over to Parapost Network Central on Facebook, like it, follow, find some new shows, find some things, and have some fun. I also want to give a shout out to our sponsor. We were talking about sponsors earlier. Our sponsor, Health Empowers You. Tanner, you're a man of health. You try to be. Health is very important, mentally, physically. I know we were talking backstage. We'll be getting into that a little bit more. But Health Empowers You guys. If you haven't heard of it, you've got to go check it out. Go to healthempowersyou.net. And honestly, you could get this is 100% true. You can get over 200 recipes, smoothie recipes, and drink recipes as of right now for less than $10. That is incredible. You can't buy a cookbook for that.
Nope.
Go check it out. Use code PC05. You even get a little bit more of a discount on top of the already cheap price. And Health Empowers You is so amazing. I actually got it live. I actually bought the recipes live, and I love it. I absolutely love it. You guys know me. I love my energy drinks. I love being unhealthy, but seriously, those drinks and those recipes are delicious, absolutely delicious. And they're adding teas and coffees and more stuff all the time. So go check it out, healthempowersyou.net. And a huge thank you to them for sponsoring whatever this is. You knew what you were getting into. But I also want to talk about something that I know, Tanner, you've been involved with. I've obviously been involved with, and that's Global Ghost Hunt. Global Ghost Hunt is a 10-day event twice a year, and it's basically a big celebration. It's a celebration of teams and locations from all over the world. Tanner and I were talking before the break about, if you have a good quality product, if you want to get out, show you what you can do. Global Ghost Hunt is a way to do it. Global Ghost Hunt is a great way for newer teams and new locations to showcase what you have and what you got going on and your skills. And honestly, you're celebrated around the world, and you join another family, basically, because it's not just the investigation and then that's it. No, we actually will sit here and promote you and help you grow through the course of the year and the coming years and forever. Go to globalghosthunt.com, sign up today, find out all the information, find out when the dates are, but you need to sign up as soon as possible. Spots are limited. It's only 10 days, so go sign up today. If you're a team, you don't have a location yet, sign up anyway. If you're a location, you don't have a team, sign up anyway. If you're a team that has a location, why are you waiting? Wait till after the show, but go sign up today. You will not regret it. It's just go to globalghosthunt.com, and you can also follow Global Ghost Hunt on all social media platforms. There's literally nothing that we're not on. And go check out previous investigations. We've got a new promo we'll be showing towards the end of the show. Rosie and Emma from the Ghoul Gang did an amazing job with it. You guys do not want to miss that. But anyway, tonight we're here with Tanner from Ghost Hunter Advice. What is it now?
It is a paranormal podcaster help desk.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's for me.
Just podcaster help desk for short.
Okay, podcaster help desk. There we go.
Yeah.
But we got my brother Tanner here. We're just hanging out, talking about some things that are important to us, and we're just having some fun.
Now, you were actually Global Ghost Hunt is a really good example of a way to monetize in the field ethically.
Uh,
Um, it's ancillary. It runs parallel to the actual investigations and ghost hunts, but it keeps you in the field. Obviously, it takes a few years to ramp up and actually take a salary, but that's a way to step in. The same
yeah,
thing with stores like Ghost Stop. The people that started making equipment, those were ways for them to provide an actual product and value to monetize so that they could be in this world more, up to full time.
100%. 100%. And you know what's even better too for me, what I really like, and we've already seen it. Like we're finishing up at the end of October will be 2 years since we've 2 complete years that we've done the Global Ghost Hunt. And the amount of growth I've seen from some of these teams who you've never heard of,
Mhm.
coming out of the woodwork, and now they're getting thousands of views. That is incredible to me. One team that stands out, and I keep saying them all the time, but they're good, and that's Abyss Paranormal.
Mhm.
Abyss Paranormal continues to surprise me, and continues to just showcase just the passion. Yeah, they don't have movie style equipment, but that doesn't matter. What they're doing, their product, their passion makes their videos amazing.
Mhm.
Rootless Destinations is another one. Their showmanship. We've seen the ladies, dressed as nuns, prisoners, Victorian dress. We've seen them in a bunch of different things, but you see their passion. And there's a lot of other teams out there. And again, go to globalghosthunt.com or go to Global Ghost Hunt on Facebook, YouTube, wherever, and see these videos and see the proof. The proof is right there. And you see this passion that they have for it. And I like what you said. This is it's a great stepping stone to get
Mhm.
your feet wet to actually see what happens. Because when you're in front of this camera, and I think the camera makes people very nervous. It makes them very nervous. And I'll be honest, you guys see me on here, and I seem to be pretty mellow and just comfortable. I am in studio. I'm fine. You put me in front of one of these things for like a TikTok live, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, dude,
Eh,
I hired a coach. I hired a video coach. And like her, like she makes me do videos, and this is for my job in sales and real estate. We have to make content to be able to
mhm.
market ourselves and get clients. And we do TikTok videos. So I hired a video coach, and I've used that for my other content. But it's a skill set in and of itself.
And I will say, before the show and before we met up, I was doing some snooping.
Mhm.
Um, that house that you have on what is it, Boy Scout Road or whatever, that house looks really cool.
Oh yeah.
I saw it. I was like, "Ooh, that's pretty."
Oh,
I,
that one. Yeah. So that was actually another agent in our in our office. It was his listing, and I just started doing a bunch of marketing and stuff for it, and doing open houses.
yeah, I saw. I was
Yep.
like, "Ooh." I saw the house, and I almost went up to the Wicked Queen. I was like, "Hey, you need to see this. How do you feel about moving to Tennessee?"
That price, dude, they it was nice. I expected the floors to be a little worse than but it was they did a good job updating that.
The inside of the house was absolutely stunning. The
Mhm.
outside little work, but that's just me. I'm
Mhm.
see the Wicked Queen is the interior. She whatever she wants to do, and I have a feeling when we get our own place, it's going to be Halloween 24/7, which is fine.
Yes.
Um, I'm the exterior, and it's the outside. I'm very finicky about. I don't know if it's my construction background or what, but I'm just. But anyway, I had to say that we brought it up, and I was like,
Mhm.
that one is really good. It looked really good. I wanted to let you know.
Thanks.
If you want to know,
It was
sorry,
so hot, dude. I was just pouring sweat.
I noticed you were
Um,
glistening,
like
but
the inside of the house, like it was cool inside. The air conditioner and stuff was great on the inside, but I had just carried everything in for the open house and like set
mhm.
my tripod up. And I was like, I got to do a video now. Paper towels.
That's the magic from behind the scenes, folks.
Yes.
But no, it was really cool, and it looked really nice. But I just wanted to let you know, if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, head
Thanks.
on over to Tanner's page, and you'll see it. You'll see what I'm
Mhm.
talking about, and maybe you'll find a spot to move to Tennessee.
Yeah, Tanner Rutledge Realtor. I would love to help you out.
There you go. Shameless plug. Check.
Yes. We're talking about monetization, so
fair enough. Fair enough. But no, like we were talking about the Global Ghost Hunt. You know, it really is cool, and you know, I'll just say we're consultants. You and I both. We'll say we're consultants for the paranormal field. Something like the Global Ghost Hunt is perfect. Is absolutely perfect for these teams because you're doing multiple things at one time, and whether they know it or not only are you getting your feet wet and getting that exposure, getting the experience in front of a camera. And by the way, if you guys want a little advice, screw it. We're going to transfer this to your show. If you want a little advice, forget the camera. Forget about the camera. Don't pretend it's not even there. Like right now, as we're speaking, I'm looking at my screen. I see Tanner. I see Tanner. I'm looking at him. I'm trying to lock eyes with him. So, you know, maintain that. But I'm not, you know, like this is just awkward to me. I'm talking to a camera. That to me, I'd rather talk to my screen. That's number one. But when you're doing stuff like the Global Ghost Hunt, you're getting that exposure. You're getting used to it. It becomes easier. Easier as it goes. I mean, this show, whatever I've evolved this into, I would say go back to my original shows, but don't. They were terrible. It's evolved. It's evolved from starting out on my phone, on a laptop with a crappy mic. I still have that crappy mic, by the way. But you know, you have to evolve it. You got to get used to it, and that's a great place to start. The other thing, the Global Ghost Hunt, what I really love is if you want to see how you can change or tweak or do something, perfect opportunity. You've got teams from all over the world right in front of you. That is basically an encyclopedia right there, a how-to guide. And you can learn things. You can see things. You can tweak. You can do whatever you want to do. Excuse me. And you're doing it for free. You're doing it. You're literally just watching and showing some support. So my question to you, Tanner, is things like the Global Ghost Hunt. And how important has that really become to the field? Like, what kind, like how big of a tool is something like this?
Oh, man. So me and you both started early 2000s, like maybe like edge of the 90s. We didn't have things like this. We didn't have these big events to go to. Like you had to track down houses, and people were, you know, you could find different places to go to. Since the paranormal has gotten so big, a lot of properties are locked down. It's hard to get into them. It's hard to show value to a historical property as to why they should let you in, especially if you have a small following.
Yep.
With something like the Global Ghost Hunt that has the reach and can show the numbers that it has, it's super helpful to getting you into properties that you might not have had access to before. And then there's the learning curve. I would have killed to have somebody that I could go out to and during an investigation have that, you know, guy in a chair in my ear that I could ask questions to when I was looking, especially if there's activity happening. Oh my God, what's the best way to get this? And you've got somebody with, you know, 20 years experience saying, okay, don't run at it.
Some of us would say don't run at it. Some of us would be like, get closer.
Get her.
Why haven't you ran at it? No, that's me, by the way, folks. Something goes bump in the night, I'm right there. It's like, do it again. I dare you. But no, you're 100% right. You know, and that's one thing I absolutely love about the field we're in now. And just like with our shows, just like with really everything, the paranormal field is evolving, for good or the bad. Me personally, I try to stay on the positive light of it, even with, and I'm just going to say it because it's common knowledge, the drama. To me, that's just the trash taking itself out. These people who are exposing their negative side and the, you know, whatever you want to call it, they're letting themselves know. There's no guesswork. You already know, you know, and, you know, the group that we have and that we've been working with, you know, I love it. I love it because, you know, I know if something happens, I can go to Tanner, I can go to Brian, I can go to Raymond, I can go to Aaron, I can go to anybody. I can just pick somebody, or I can just go on to Parapost. Hey, I need help, and there's always going to be somebody there, and that's what I love. So let me tie some things together here, then, brother. For the promotion side of it, it's pretty obvious. I think we can both agree with this. Sharing on social media, huge.
Yes.
One share can mean a huge difference with a lot. So that's the one thing I want to say to literally everybody is share. It takes 2 seconds, just done. I mean, you probably breathe. It takes longer for you to take a full breath than it does to, okay. You saw that too?
Yeah, I just saw that pop up too. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Hi. I know I can barely speak English, but if that's another language, don't know. Hi.
This is one. Like, I wish YouTube would just get like a translate button.
Yeah.
And just go ahead and just auto translate stuff, or StreamYard, since you're listening. Yeah.
I will say that's one thing with Meta I'm really glad about is that you can actually do the C translation now.
Yep. Yeah, that's nice.
Good luck with my show, but yeah. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Well, like when you share a podcast out though, like what you were talking about, you never know who's going to see it. And this wasn't my paranormal podcast. I'm a writer. I do a writing podcast called Killer Prose. And it was shared out. It caught the eye of a publisher. And I started getting a lot more guests. I started getting a lot more attention and people reaching out about projects that I was doing. And through that podcast and the growth of that podcast, I was able to get some inroads into publishing agencies, into literary agents, into resources for me to build my own publishing company. I wouldn't have gotten any of that. I wouldn't have had that knowledge, and I wouldn't have had the help of, I wouldn't have met best-selling authors who have helped me to get better at writing and get ready to put my books out, had I not done the podcast and had it not been shared out once I did it.
Yeah. And, even if you don't have a huge following, people, just sharing it out even once is enough, and I try to share out as much as I can. I know, like with Tanner's writing show, it's a lot of fun. It's a good show. Anytime I see it, automatic, even if I can't watch it, share. I'm the same way on Parapost. If I see, one of my Parapost families live, I'll try to share it as quickly as I possibly can. Sometimes it's just a quick glance at work, but no, and it's effortless. Literally, you just drop your thumb. That's it. The promoting side of it, I know we already talked about. We spend a lot of money on what we do, and you said about boosting these shows earlier. Where do we get to that point? When is it okay to start doing that? Like when should people start doing that?
It depends. So let's talk about setting up a podcast. And not just live streaming and stuff like this. This is like a podcast. Like it's most of my stuff is audio only that goes out to Apple and Spotify and those the podcatcher apps. Record a couple episodes, have other people watch it and give you feedback, have other people listen to it and give you feedback. Tune in to my monthly podcaster help desk. You can come up live and I'll coach you through how to fix your sound. That's a free resource that usually people charge quite a bit to do.
Yeah.
And get that dialed in and get a couple of episodes out. You want to have, you probably want to have somewhere between 5 and 10 episodes out before you start boosting, because people like to binge shows. Get to a place to where you can put at least 2 podcast episodes out a month, every other week. Weekly podcasts perform better. Once you can hit that production, and once you have a show to market, I'd put $5 toward a Facebook ad, and send it out. If you're using Libsyn, or if you're doing the free stuff through Spotify for podcasters, you're going to get these great analytics that are going to tell you the age of your listeners. It's going to tell you how long let's do the demographics first. It's going to tell you the age. It's going to tell you the location, and it's going to tell you the sex, all the information about your listeners that you're going to need to go to Facebook and set up an ad and put in that demographic information and put in those interests that your podcast is covering, so that you can target the right people. And if you notice you've already got a big following out of some random city out in Utah, geofence and geo-target that random city in Utah. Try to get some more since you've already got a following there. So basically, once you have a show and you have some data.
Okay. So, and by the way, this isn't just for paranormal folks. This is just all around. So you mentioned the audio only. We all know about Spotify. We all know about a lot of these places. There was one that, and this is just, I just want your thoughts. Mr. Fedora, Scott Morton, my brother. We all know the Fedorable one. He turned me on to one called Rumble.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on Rumble? I haven't had anything come back from it yet, so I'm just curious.
I haven't used Rumble. Rumble is primarily a conservative free speech platform. Okay. And that's just from research on the platform and who's on it. I don't personally, I don't use it. The type of stuff and the demographic that I go after isn't on Rumble currently. As it grows, it will depoliticize. And fun word, but it'll
word of the day.
Word of the day.
Use that today in a sentence, folks. Go for it.
Yes. But it's I mean, it'll become a standard platform like Facebook and the others if it tracks the way things have before, and it'll be more viable for me. If you do content, and this is where your demographic comes in. I am a horror writer. My biggest podcast is Killer Pros. The horror industry is fairly left-leaning. My audience, not on Rumble. And you put your money and your time in what's going to give you the best drawback for your podcast. If I was doing, this is a good one, the trad wife movement. If I was a traditional wife, and I was doing a podcast, Rumble is definitely somewhere I would hit up. If I had a Christian faith-based anything, I know there's a guy who has an accounting show that is Christian faith-based finances for Christians. I would do Rumble. But that's not where my audience is. It is. It's really good though. It's oddly very good.
You know, I don't take notes or have any script, but I might write that down. A Christian accountant. I want to listen to that. Yeah, let's see if they hold on to their 10% tithe.
But you go where your audience is. That's the answer on Rumble. Like if fair enough. If I had a bunch of people on X or Twitter, I would go to X or Twitter and I'd be more active there. Right now I'm on YouTube and I'm on Twitch primarily for the lives and everything with Killer Pros. For ghost hunting, for paranormal outreach, and for real estate, I'm on Facebook because that's my biggest draw, and TikTok. Yeah,
fair enough. Now this was a question that I personally had that I had to learn, but I know there's probably going to be some people watching this who might have the same question. The demographic side of it. Yeah, okay, the age I understand. I get, like, obviously if it's like 60, 70-year-olds, you're not going to play, you know what I mean? You don't want high energy, you build to your audience. But the demographic for like the sex and the locations, why is that so important?
It mainly for targeting. Like if I notice that I'm doing like 80% male audience on my podcast, and that's I'm 80% male listeners, I know I'm less likely to attract other females, so I'm going to put more money toward marketing to male accounts.
Okay. And what about location side of it?
Location.
Like, what's the difference between like California and Virginia?
Yeah. So if I notice that I have a big following somewhere, like for some reason I do have like a big following in this little town out in California, I'll geofence that because they're going to see it more and they'll start sharing it to their friends. So I'll have them more engaged in the podcast. And then I'll also get a bigger following there because they'll start drawing their friends in. It's about being everywhere for them because I'm already in their podcatcher, whatever their app is. And then they're on Facebook scrolling around. They're like, "Oh, I know that guy. Hey, I listen to this podcast, dude." And you're more likely to get more referrals that way.
See, and I'm glad you said that because it's basically word of mouth what it comes down to, folks.
Yep.
there's in sales, there's a thing called rule of five.
Mhm.
For every one person, they will tell five of their friends. And for some of us, having five friends is like, who has that many? At least anymore. But it we here on Parapost and really anywhere, distance means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. Like if I share it, I know five people who are on my friends list, they'll see it. And here's the thing: once you start sharing the shows, whether it's yours or somebody else's, you're going to start making some noise with the algorithm. That's what it all comes down to. And I know a lot of people are kind of like, well, what do you mean? Exposure. The more people see you, see your brand, like for example, Nike, everybody knows what the Nike brand looks like. Everybody knows what Under Armour looks like. By the way, Under Armour, I'm not sponsored, but if you're interested, just saying. Um, or Amps, Mountain Dew.
Yep.
Hello, Pepsi. Uh,
And the more places you are, dude, when I see that and that branding, so like my personal training business, I am targeting a specific zip code right now. To get more clients out there. My clients in that zip code, I put yard signs out for them at the big intersections that I know that a couple of the more affluent neighborhoods are coming out of that can do the one-on-one personal training for the big ticket stuff. I've got signs setting outside of those neighborhoods, and then I geofence around those neighborhoods and I run Facebook ads. So like when they pull their phone out, they see the Fit Parent Revolution. When they're driving to their house, they see signs for personal training, Fit Parent Revolution. You do the same thing for real estate. If I have a listing in the neighborhood, I'll geofence that and I'll run my listing services because they already see that I'm selling a house in there, and then they'll see that okay, I'm on the phone. I am front of mind whenever they think of I need a professional in this. They're going to hire me. Same thing for your show. Leaving cards in a bathroom stall. Any sort of cheap physical marketing that you can do to go along with your cheap digital marketing is just going to reinforce things, and it's going to make people more likely to click listen. And once they listen to your podcast, way more likely to click subscribe.
Yeah, 100%. And, it's even for the paranormal teams. That's what I used to do. I used to take literally hundreds of business cards for my paranormal team, and I just drop them off. And the one thing I think a lot of people forget about too is the merchandise side of it. Like, believe it or not, like what Tanner's talking about is like the extreme. Like I have never put out yard signs, although I'm getting ideas.
I haven't done it for a show.
Thinking about it. But I mean, that'd be some good exposure. Right. Put them up next to the interstate, just go in a couple miles.
There's a local podcast here. They took out a billboard on the interstate. They've gotten cheaper. They're still expensive. They've gotten cheaper.
Just take a bunch of yard signs on the interstate. Anyway, but one thing a lot of people forget about is the biggest and best billboard you have, yourself.
Yes.
This right here is my new merch, my new logo, which you can see right above Tanner there. I wear my stuff out. I wear my stuff. I wear Global Ghost Hunt stuff. I mean, 90% of the time, if I'm out and about, I have something paranormal on. Why? It draws attention. It's still exposure. There is no such thing as bad exposure. None. Well, I mean, there's a legality of exposure, but that's something completely different. But wearing your merchandise, you can actually look and see who's interested. You're in the store, Walmart, wherever, you're wearing your shirt, somebody's going to take notice, and you will see them literally looking at you like, I wonder what that's about, but they're afraid to say something. Approach them. Say, hey, what's up? I saw you saw the shirt. Do you want one? Or they might even say, hey, what's your shirt? Excuse me, what's your shirt about? I got my boy tattooed on me. That's brought up a lot of attention. And it's all about exposing what you're up to and what you got going on, and just word of mouth. Word of mouth is the absolute cheapest. It's the absolute cheapest way to do it because it's free.
Yeah. Now, when I pick my kid up from school, I've got my Fit Parent Revolution hat or a Fit Parent Revolution shirt, so that they can be like, they can ask about personal, which is going all online. That's another podcast that I do, Fit Parent Revolution. It is attached to my business and it is the marketing arm for my business. But it started off as just being a podcast and I launched a business off of it. That's another way that you can monetize is actually launching a business off of it. But I'll wear those around and get people to listen to the podcast. Head over to shameless plug, Moms and Dads Get Fit. Moms and Dads Get .fit. And that's my website for my personal training and my fitness podcast, Fit Parent Revolutions, fitness strategies for busy parents. And I mean that's a pretty good way to monetize a podcast if you have a business to launch off of it.
Yeah. But the one thing though, and we've already gone over an hour. I can't believe that. But again, this is how Tanner and I are, and I absolutely love it. But the one thing I want everyone to really take away from is, and I think Tanner feels the same way, network. Find if you're just starting out, whether it's a show, a paranormal team, a small business, even if it's not like for what we're doing, even if you want to get out and start marketing, start networking, start promoting what you're doing, get with a group. It doesn't matter whether they're in the field or not of what you're doing. Get out, expose yourself to them, make some friends. Maybe they have some advice. Like for me, I fish. I love fishing. Absolutely love fishing. Maybe you want to do a show on fishing. Hey, where's some great spots? What kind of things would you use to, hold your phone while you're fishing? How is that impossible? What kind of camera would you use? Stuff like that. Network. Always network. Get together the group. Get to know them. Become family like we did at Parapost. Parapost Network. We literally are a big family. You saw the video about a half hour ago. You saw it. We're a big family. We support everybody. That is where you want to start. Start there.
But with that, like the biggest thing you said there was the right relationship. When you start networking and building a business, building a podcast, it works the same way. Marketing is marketing, networking is networking.
Yep.
Go at it just looking to build build relationships and to provide value to people. If you walk into a networking event and you're all about listen to my show, come to my business, it really turns people off. But if you listen to people like I've had a couple of times where I've had people who have become friends from networking, they've become friends from work or whatever. They'll have a problem and I'm like, you know what? I could sit here and talk your ear off about it, but I actually did a podcast episode about that, and I'll shoot them a link to that specific episode of Fit Parent Revolution or Ghost Hunter Advice if we're talking about like ghost hunting stuff. And I'll just send over hey, listen to this episode. They'll listen to that episode and they're like, dude, I went through and listened to like 5 episodes. That was awesome. I subscribed. I started telling a couple of my friends about it and it just grows. And you didn't expect anything. You just provided value and you helped them in a way, which is what your show is for.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at work, I'm known as the paranormal guy. Something happens. They talk to me about it. Oh, well, just like you said, I did a show about it. Or even better, what I like to do is I'll send them to Parapost. I'll send them to Parapost Network. Be like, I didn't do a show, but this guy does a show about it. And there I'm killing 2 birds on that point. Number 1, I'm letting them know I do a show. And number 2, somebody else. I'm promoting the other people out. And, it's amazing. It's amazing how quickly you'll grow, how quickly the other people grow. It's a nice symbiotic relationship. It's really nice. But we're reaching that point. We're going to have to do a part 2 on this, brother. We're going to have to.
Absolutely.
But I will say this, folks, and all joking and fun aside, I feel like I can speak for not just myself, but Tanner and the rest of our Parapost family. The main thing is there's always people here to help you. There's always people here to help you. There's always somebody there, whether you're new, you're seasoned, doesn't matter. There's always somewhere to support you. So just check it out and take that first step and say, hey, I'm new here. And just watch what happens. Just watch. It's amazing. And next thing you know, you'll be getting messages from all over the world. And speaking of the world, we've spoken about it a couple of times, and we'll show the new video. But the global ghost hunt, I can't say it enough. If you're in the paranormal field, you want that exposure, you want to get out there, you want to learn, but more importantly, you want to have fun. Global ghost hunt is the way to do it. I mean, Tanner and I both agreed that I wish this was happening when we first started out. I really do, because it would have been such a better learning curve than what I went through. I don't know about you, but I had one hell of a learning curve. But we're going to play this new promo video, and a huge shout out to the ladies, Emma and Rosie from the Ghoul Gang, for what their part is. But it really cool, really good video. Check it out.
Hey there, fellow spooky enthusiasts. It's me, Rosie.
And I'm Emma.
And together we are
The Ghoul Gang.
We're thrilled to be the new UK brand ambassadors for this year's Global Ghost Hunt Fall event.
So make sure you mark it in your calendars ready.
From October the 17th through to the 27th, we'll be bringing you a hauntingly good time.
Teams from different countries showcasing their incredible historical locations and unique investigative techniques.
We're hoping to see some familiar faces.
So come on, join us on this thrilling journey, October 17th to 27th.
We'll be live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and Twitch.
You do not want to miss out on this ghostly fun.
We'll see you there.
But yeah, it doesn't get any easier than that, folks. It really doesn't. And again, you can check out Global Ghost Hunt on really any social media network or platform. They're there. We're there, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's all about community. Community, having fun, being respectful. And for me, it's passion. If you like it, you have a passion for it, do it. Who cares? Who cares what anybody else says? Just do it. Find yourself that support group, have fun with it, and enjoy. So, brother, you have any more plugs you want to do before we get out of here?
Man, I think we covered most of it. If you guys want to reach out, if you're working on a book, you're working on a larger piece of content for prints, you can find me on Twitch and YouTube, Killer Pros Podcast. I'm there 5:30 a.m. Mondays and Fridays for live writing sessions and answering questions about books and formatting. It's my work time when I write my books, so I answer those in between the sprints. And there's a little timer up on the board, and we do 10-minute sprints for writer productivity. You can also, if you're looking to get in shape, check out Moms and Dads Get Fit. That's my other podcast in fitness, Fit Parent Revolution. And there's just a lot of really good tips about fitting fitness into your everyday life, whether that's breaking up your workouts throughout the day instead of hitting the gym for an hour, meal prepping ideas, and some other stuff. And absolutely check out Brian's company, Empowering Health. I always get it wrong. Health empowers you. The smoothies are freaking awesome.
They are. They really are. And again, use code PC05 at checkout for even more of a discount. I mean, 200 recipes for under $10. Really? Really? Just go to healthempowersyou.net and just see for yourself, guys. Seriously. But yeah, huge shout out to them for sponsoring us. I love it. Appreciate you guys. But well, I think that's going to do it for us for today, guys. Please feel free to go check out the links down below. You can get Health Empowers You's down there as well. But you could also check out my new merch, which there's going to be more. I had some ideas, and we all know how that goes. But I'm always updating my store. So go to paraconsultantstore.com. Go check it out. You can get all of the new merch, new logos, merch, bunch of different things for everybody. There's something for everybody in there. Go check it out. Again, paraconsultantstore.com. Other than that, guys, I don't know when I'll do another show. It might be a gaming one next week. I have no idea. I know Shadow, Aaron Hoffman, I know I owe him a demonologist playthrough. But we were also talking about doing Phasmophobia and like maybe Planet Craft. I don't know. There's so many different games that I could play, and I just got into this new game, and I don't. Who knows? And I still have to write my book.
Yeah,
It's only been
swing by the morning writing sessions if you can. I think you might be getting off work about that time, but I definitely want to have you on the podcaster help desk to talk about community engagement. You're one of the most engaging people that I've worked with and seen in live streaming.
I appreciate that. Yeah, anytime, brother. You just let me know.
Awesome.
Usually I work 9 p.m. Eastern to 7:30 in the morning. Yeah, it's a fun shift.
Wow. Yeah. You get to see the fun stuff, though.
I wouldn't say that. But yeah, no, a day off. Yeah, I'm good whenever.
Awesome.
Or anytime before basically 8 o'clock. I'm good.
Yeah.
So whenever, just let me know.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
But I appreciate you coming on tonight, brother. I love when we get together because we have an idea, but it usually goes a little this way, a little that way, and then next thing you know, it's an hour and 15 minutes later.
Yep.
But thank you for your time, brother. I much appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
But anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for tonight. So thank you all so much for watching. Again, don't forget to hit that share button, just so I know you're watching and you're enjoying what you're seeing. Because if you don't like what you're seeing, go somewhere else because I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm having fun. But I think there's only just one more thing left for me to say. Y'all have yourselves a great rest of your night. Have fun. Stay safe. But as always, guys, happy hauntings.